Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Muhammad Abu Bakr, and in this video we are going to discuss the Cambridge International Education Biology 5090 Variant 11 May June 2020 Paper 1 multiple choice questions only. So let's start our video. Which structure is present in a liver cell and in a leaf cell? So cell wall is present only in a leaf cell. Chloroplast again is present only in a leaf cell. In a plant cell, cytoplasm is common to both liver cell and leaf cell. So C is the right answer. Sap vacuole again is present in plant cell. So C is the right option. By which process does water vapors pass out of a leaf? So what is the passage out of water vapors from the leaf called? It is called transpiration. And transpiration is favored by dryness in the atmosphere. So greater is the dryness in the atmosphere means greater is the rate of transpiration. So what does this mean? This means that if the water content on the outside is low, the rate of transpiration is greater. Similarly, when the atmosphere is humid, the rate of transpiration falls. So it means that water is passing from higher potential to lower potential, and this movement is always called diffusion. So B is the right answer. A student takes a potato and cuts three pieces from it. Each piece is 5 centimeters. So this is length, this is width into 0.5, and this is into the height. He places the three potato pieces in three different concentrations of sugar solution. After 2 hours, he removes the potato pieces from the sugar solution and measures their length. So the results are shown in the table. What can we derive from these results? As we can see here, the the potato piece placed in solution X has been increased in size. So this increase in size means that this potato cell has now gained water, whereas y has decreased in its length, means it has lost water, and z has gained the most of the length, means it has gained most water. So now some of you might say that why do not sugars move in and sugars move out? Why does not sugar move in and out? Because uh, the sugars have a high molecular weight, high mr, means that these sugars cannot pass through the semi-permeable membranes of the cell. So sugars would not move in or move out of the cells. So it is only water which will move in and move out. So solution Y has a lower water potential than the potato cells. The the potato in Y has lost its length, means it has lost its water. And why does it lose its water? Because it is placed in a lower water potential, because lower water is moving from the potato cells to the outside, and outside is the lower water potential, and that is the reason the water is moving out. So A makes sense. Solution Z has the lowest water potential. No, it has the highest water potential because the Z has gained the most of the length. So Z has highest water potential. So B is incorrect. The potato piece in solution X increases in length because it takes up sugar, because it loses sugar. As I had said earlier, sugar does not move in or out. So A is the right answer. Which property of enzymes is explained by the lock and key hypothesis? All enzymes are proteins. Yes, they are, but this is not an explanation by the lock and key hypothesis. Enzymes are inactive at low temperatures. This is again not an explanation, of lock and key hypothesis. Most enzymes catalyze only one type of reaction. So that's what we can derive from the lock and key hypothesis. So D is the right answer. The diagram shows a transverse section through a leaf. What are the functions of the parts labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4? So 1 is the mesophyll cell. 1 is the mesophyll cell, and mesophyll cell uh, is the place where photosynthesis takes place. 4 is the intracellular spaces where the gaseous exchange is mainly occurred. So A and B are incorrect. This portion, that is, I think, if I can zoom this here, uh, this portion here, this portion here has been shown more black, has been shown more black, means that this is the xylem, and this portion here has been shown in less black color, means that this is phloem. We already know that phloem is on the upper hand in the leaf, and uh, fl- uh, that xylem is on the upper side and phloem is on the lower side. So xylem is the place where the transport of water occurs. So transporting water, and phloem is the place where the translocation transport of sugar is taken place. So D is the right answer. The diagram shows a green plant photosynthesizing under a glass jar. This was used as a control experiment in a laboratory investigation. So this is light. This is the airtight bung which does not allow the movement of gases in or out. This is the glass jar. This is the water. This is the water filter paper and green plant itself. Which diagram shows the experiment carried out to investigate the need for CO2 in photosynthesis? So this has light, this has light, light, whereas B is in dark. Darkness means that there would not be any photosynthesis, so we can rule out B. Uh, we can also rule out D here, although D has light here, but CO2 reacts with water to give us glucose and rest of things like oxygen, but that takes place when water is also present. In D, the oil layer on the top does not allow the movement of water upwards, means that the leaf won't get water, and it cannot then synthesize the uh, glucose, means that there would not be any photosynthesis, and no photosynthesis means that we cannot gauge the amount of CO2 needed here. So D is also incorrect. Among A and C, the difference is that sodium hydroxide is used to absorb CO2, and H2CO3 indicator is used to detect carbon dioxide. Now what we need to do is we have to gauge the amount of CO2 needed. We do not need a indicator, we do not need a detector. We need something that can measure the amount of CO2 for us, not that can indicate the CO2 here. So H2CO3 would only serve as indicator, and it would not help us in measuring the amount of CO2 needed for the process. Whereas NaOH solution to absorb carbon dioxide is the best for this purpose. So A is the right answer, because sodium hydroxide would help us gauge the amount of CO2 produced here. So A is the right answer. The graph shows the rate of photosynthesis in a plant in full sunlight at two different temperatures and different concentration of CO2 at normal. So light intensity would remain constant, and there are two different temperatures. At normal carbon dioxide concentrations, what limits the rate of photosynthesis? So light intensity does not, because it's a constant. The temperature has already been given, so B and C is incorrect. Water availability has not been indicated, so it is only carbon dioxide concentration which plays a role here. CO2 limits the reaction on uh, limits the reaction later on. CO2 here, the amount of CO2 limits the reaction later on. Otherwise, it would have been like this, but it starts to limit here. So CO2 concentration, A is the right answer for 7th. Which organ produces an acid which kills the bacteria in ingested food? Liver, no. Pancreas, no. Salivary glands, no. Stomach, yes. Stomach does. So D is the right answer. A patient has a gallbladder surgically removed. How will this affect the functioning of her body? What does the gallbladder does? It releases the bile salts in the gastrointestinal tract, which helps us to digest the fatty foods and lipids. So no, reducing the digestion of fats, yes, it is the right answer. B, reducing the liver's ability to convert glucose to glycogen, no. Reducing the volume of, no, this is again, this is the renal portion, the uh, renal tract is involved in D. So B, reducing the digestion of fats will be the an effect of removal of gallbladder. So B is the right answer. Four of the organs of the alimentary canal are digested: colon, duodenum, esophagus, and stomach. Which sequence shows the order in which the food passes through these organs? So from esophagus, it comes from colon, duodenum to the stomach, from stomach to the duodenum, and then to colon. So it is M, L, K, and so it is L, M, K, and J. L, M, K, and J. So C is the right answer. Which features of root hairs suggest that they take up ions from the soil by active transport? Their cell membranes are partially permeable. Yes, they are partially permeable, but no, this does not suggest the statement above. They have a large surface area. Yes, this they have a large surface area, but for the absorption of water, they have a lower water potential in the than the soil. Yes, they have lower water potential, but this is again not a suggestion for the movement of ions by the active transport. So A, B, and C are incorrect. They take ions more slowly in low oxygen concentrations. Yes, this is true. Why is this true? That if the oxygen is low, if lower oxygen means that lower respiration would take place, and lower would be the breakdown of glucose into the energy, and lower would be the active transport, lower would be the uptake of ions. So D is the right answer. The photomyograph micrograph show the part of a section through a root. So the contents of Y, this is Y, this is a, I think, a phloem cell, if I'm right. The contents of Y are tested with Benedict solution and with iodine solution, which results are expected. So this Y here will definitely give a negative result with the iodine solution and a negative with the Benedict solution here. So D is the right answer. Which blood vessels carry blood to the liver? Hepatic artery, yes. Hepatic portal vein, yes, it does carry. Hepatic vein, no. Hepatic vein carries blood to the heart. So yes, this is true. Yes, C and D are incorrect. B is incorrect. Vena cava, no. So A is the right answer. Which blood vessels contain valves? So capillaries do not contain valves. Arteries again do not contain valves, whereas veins do contain valves. So B is the right answer. Which chamber of the heart would be the first to receive nicotine absorbed into the blood in the lungs of a cigarette smoker? So suppose this is a heart mind disc diagram. So this is the left atrium, this is the left ventricle, this is the right atrium, and this is the our right ventricle. So blood would come from here first into the left atrium, then it would go into the left ventricle, and then towards the body. So left atrium would be the first to receive the blood from the lungs. So A is the right answer. Which word equation represents aerobic respiration? A and B are incorrect. Glucose plus oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, yes. C is the right answer. D is incorrect. What lines the walls of alveoli? So a carpet of cilia does not line the wall of alveoli. A film of moisture, yes. A film of moisture is continuously secreted by the new monocytes, which are the type 2 cells. These type 2 cells of new monocytes new monocytes new monocytes are uh, continuously uh, secreted to facilitate the transfer of gases between the blood and the alveolar air. And these type 2 cells are generally found at the blood air barrier. So B can be right answer. A network of veins, no. A network of capillaries would have been correct. A thin sheet of muscle is the wall of alveoli itself. It is an epithelium, no, is the wall of alveoli itself. It is made up of a uh, combination of epithelial cells and a muscular cells. So D is incorrect. B is the right answer. So the graph shows changes in the volume of a person's lungs over a period of 2 minutes. Okay. So what could the change in the pattern of the graph between X and Y suggest? So the volume of X is normal, and then it increases, and then it starts to decrease. So the volume of lungs in air increases when we breathe in. When we breathe in. So volume of lungs increases when we breathe in. And what could be the cause of this change in pattern? Changing from running to walking, no. uh, no, this is not true. This would have been the right answer if y was previous to x. If y was previous to x, then this would have been true, but A is incorrect. Changing from walking to running, yes, this is the right answer. When we suddenly start running, our rate of breathing increases, and the volume of air suddenly increase, then decrease, increase, decrease, increase, decrease, increase, decrease, means that the rate of respiration increases. So B is the right answer. Decreased frequency of the contractions of the internal intercostal muscles. Decreased frequency. If there was decreased frequency, then y should have been smaller. Uh, if there was decreased frequency, then this y portion should have been like this, not like this continuously longitudinal pattern which is repeating again and again. So C is incorrect. Decreased strength of contractions of intercostal muscles. If there was decreased strength, then this y should have been like this. Should have been also smaller than the x. So C and D also do not make sense. B is the right answer. The diagram shows a kidney and blood vessels associated with it. Which statements are correct? So vessel X contains more urea than vessel Y. Yes, this is the artery and this is the vein. So this artery carries waste products to be filtered, and this vein carries lesser urea. So vessel X contains more urea. Vessel Y contains urine. No, it does not. This is the ureter which contains urine. So 2 is incorrect. Vessel X contains more oxygen than vessel Y. Yes, it is correct as well, because this oxygen moves in the kidney cells, and kidney itself needs oxygen for its activities. Means there would be lesser oxygen in the vein, because the oxygen has been separated from the artery, and then this vein contains deoxygenated blood. So 1 and 3 are only correct. B is the right answer. Which of these statements describes control by negative feedback? Negative feedback means the output of a process decreases the rate of the process. An injury to body tissue activates platelets in the blood, and these activated platelets release chemicals which activate more platelets. So this is a positive feedback. So A is incorrect. uh, Positive feedback, A is incorrect. During the menstrual cycle, luteinizing hormone stimulates the release of estrogen hormone, which in turn stimulates the release of more LH. So this is again a positive a positive feedback. positive feedback, so B is incorrect as well. A higher concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere increases temperature, which increases photosynthesis producing. This is again positive feedback. So obviously we are left with D, which should be the right answer, but still we can check this. When BP is high, nerve impulses from the brain causes the blood vessels to dilate and blood pressure is reduced. So this is the negative feedback, means that the output of process decreases the rate of process. So D is the right answer. Which statements describe the pupil reflex in bright light? So for a pupil reflex in bright light, first thing is that the pupil should become thinner, pupil should constrict. So 7 should be true. So finding 7, 1, 6, 9, 2, 5, 10, 3, 7, 10. Obviously this entails 7. So if we still check 3, circular iris muscles contract, yes they do, and the radial iris muscles relax, yes they do. These circular contract, C for C, and R radial iris relax, R for R, when the bright light is present. So C is the right answer. Which diagram shows a section? The diagram shows a section to the human brain. Which level part contains the temperature regulation center? So it is definitely hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, which contains the authority to regulate the temperature of the body. So A is the right answer. Which statements about the elbow joint are correct? When the biceps muscle contract, the elbow is bent. When the biceps, when I contract my own biceps, the elbow is bent. Yes, it is. So A1 is true. When tricep muscles relax, the elbow is straightened. So when bicep muscles contract, the elbow is bent. But at the time when the bicep muscles are contracted, the triceps muscles are relaxed. And when the triceps muscles contract, the elbow is straightened. So 2 is incorrect. Skeletal muscles work in antagonistic pairs. Yes, they do. So 1 and 3 are correct. C is the right option. You can check this by moving your own elbow. So what are the effects of heroin? So can heroin cause addiction? Yes, it can. So D is incorrect. Delays sleep and increases alertness. No, heroin is a strong sedative, so it does not delay sleep. Withdrawal symptoms are severe. Yes, they are. So C is the right answer. C is the right answer. Which process brought about by microorganism does not depend on anaerobic respiration? The conversion of milk into yogurt by bacteria. Yes, it does. And the formation of lactic acid, it again does. The release of alcohol by the action of yeast on sugar is again dependent by anaerobic respiration. The synthesis of SCP in fermenters, yes, this does not require anaerobic respiration. So D is the right answer. This is simple theory part. The diagram shows the equipment used in the industrial production of penicillin. So this is the vent, this is the micronutrients, microorganisms are going in, the products are moving out. This is the sensor for temperature and pH. Water moves in, water moves out. This is the stirrer. So what is the purpose of this structure labeled X? So this structure labeled X serves as a conductor. Means that it helps to remove the heat produced by the fermentation process. To insulate the fermentation vessel, no. To maintain the pressure, it does not need to be regulated. To monitor the temperature for fermentation vessel, it is already monitored by these sensors. So B, C, and A is also incorrect. Main purpose of X is to remove the heat produced by fermentation process, because it is a conductor itself. So D is the right answer. The flow of energies in ecosystem is non-cyclical. What is the main reason for this? Energy can be transferred back to its original source. No, it can't, because energy is continuously lost as heat. Energy is not transferred from living things to their environment. No, it is transferred to their environment. Energy is only transferred from smaller to larger organisms. Yes, it is transferred, but energy is transferred from living organisms as heat. Yes, D is the one which makes most sense. Energy is transferred from smaller to larger organisms, but this is one not a reason why the flow of energy in ecosystem is non-cyclical. Energy is lost at heat, so energy is continuously reduced after different trophic levels. So that's why the flow of energy in ecosystem is non-cyclical. So D is the right answer. The diagram shows a food chain. So grasses, zebras, lions, and fleas. Flea is an insect. So which pyramid of numbers would represent this food chain? So fleas are greater in number, grasses are greater in number, zebras are lesser than grasses, and lions are the carnivores. So A is the best pyramid of numbers we need. The diagram shows parts of the nitrogen cycle. Which arrow represents the action of root nodule bacteria of the leguminous plant? So this bacteria's name is rhizopus. So if we check this, the nitrogen containing green plants decaying remains. This is done by ammonifying bacteria, nitrites. This is done by nitrification bacteria, and nitrates absorbed by assimilated by nitrogen green plants. No, nitrogen gas is converted into nitrates by the rhizopus and in the roots, and then these nitrates are absorbed by the green plants. So A is the right answer. Which row matches a method of controlling malaria with the explanation of how this method works? Covering windows with netting kills mosquito. No, it would only prevent the mosquito from reaching you. Spraying oil on rivers kills mosquito larvae. Yes, this can be true. Taking anti-malarial bat tablet stops mosquito biting. No, it kills the malarial parasites. Using insecticides kills malarial parasites. No, it kills the malarial vector. It kills the malarial vector, not the parasite. So B is the right answer, because spraying oil on the rivers kills the habitat of the mosquito larvae, and once the habitat is destroyed, the mosquito won't survive. So B is the right answer. Areas of tropical rainforest are often cut down and cleared. After cutting down the trees, the areas are normally burnt. What are the effects of this activity? When the burning is take place, means automatically CO2 concentration would increase. So A and B are incorrect. Number and variety of species would decrease because the forest have been habitat has been disturbed. Soil stability. If we talk about soil stability, it would also reduce because the trees have been cut down. So C is the right answer. The diagram shows a section of seed. What are the numbered parts? So this structure here is plumule. This is a diagram that comes from your textbook. So one is plumule. A and D are incorrect. Two is the radical, which is associated very close to the this two is the radical, and only three left is the cotyledon. So C, one is plumule, two is radical, C is the cotyledon, or three is the cotyledon. So C is the right answer. Which process involves part of the carpel of a flower? Attracting insects does not require the parts of the carpel of a flower uh, take part. Fertilization and producing pollen, I'm not sure about this one. Forming fruit and pollination, yes, forming fruit and pollination both require the parts of the carpel of the flower, involvement of parts of carpel of the flower. So B is true. Releasing pollens and fertilization, I think fertilization is not involved here. So C is the right answer. You can still check this from your own textbook. I'm not sure about this one, so sorry for that. Uh, what identifies a cause and a symptom and a treatment for syphilis in humans? So syphilis is always caused by a bacterium, so you can rule out A and D. And this bacteria is always treated using antibiotics, and the symptom for syphilis is joints becoming more painful. So C is the right answer. The diagram shows the female reproductive system, in which parts are the eggs and the zygote formed. So 2 is the ovary, and ovary is the place where the egg is produced. So A and B are incorrect. And where is the zygote formed? And so if we check, this zygote is formed in the fallopian tube. Fallopian tube is the place where the fertilization takes place, and then this zygote is carried to the uterus. 3. So 1 is the place where the fertilization occurs, where the zygote is formed. So C is the right answer. Natural selection plays a role in evolution. What describes features of natural selection that can affect evolution? Okay. So survivors may transfer an advantageous feature to their offspring. Yes, they do. Better adapted individuals have a greater chance of surviving and breeding. Yes, they do. That's what the theory of evolution says. So D is the right answer. In guinea pigs, the allele for black for B is dominant to the allele for brown for B. A breeder can sell a brown guinea pig for more money than a black pig. So which cross will produce the most money? So this MCQ involves technicalities like the crossing of and a simple match here. So obviously B and B are incorrect, because it would only produce the black fur guinea pigs, not the brown, which can be sold for the most of price. If we check B, C, and D, first we can solve B. So B and capital B, say this B, then this capital B again, and this small b. So this is again a black one, black guinea pig. This B and this B and this B and this B and this B. So B would produce all the black guinea pigs. So B is incorrect. If small b, so if B, this B and this B one, so this is black. This B, this B and this small b, this is again a black. This B and this B, again a black, and two small beans means a brown. So one brown is being produced in C. So last D, this capital B small b, this capital B small b, capital B small b. So two black initially, this B and this B a brown one, and this B and this B again a brown one. So two browns are being produced in D, and one brown is being produced in C. So D is the right answer. D is the right answer. The inheritance of ABO blood groups in humans is controlled by three alleles, IA, IB, and IO. Only which of two can be present in one individual? What are the possible blood groups of children born to a homozygous group A woman and a heterozygous group A woman? So if we check this, homozygous group A woman means I, both are capital IA, and a heterozygous group B man means a IB along with a small a. So if we cross them, an IA, this IA would react with this IB, uh, combine it. Sorry, mind my words, I had used react inside instead of combination. IA, this capital IA with this small I, with this small I, this capital A with this capital B, and this capital A with this small I. So it would only produce A's, blood group with A's and AB's. AB and A only. So B is the right answer. All other are incorrect. Which statement is always true for dominant alleles? They cannot undergo mutation. They can go. They give a greater chance of survival than recessive alleles. No, this is not true for all cases. They give the same phenotype in heterozygous and homozygotes. They give the same phenotype in the, suppose we have for albinism, two small a's, and capital a's. No, sorry, if we have for normal body pigmentation, albinism is the converse. If we have the normal body pigmentation, we have capital A, and capital A, and capital A. So this is for the heterozygous zygote, and this is for the homozygote. So they do give the same phenotype, means the organism has the normal body pigmentation. So C is true. They occur less frequently in the pollution population than recessive alleles. No, this is again a uh, and in what can I say? This is again a statement which is not supported by enough evidence. So C is the right answer. So that's all for our today's videos. Thank you, and make sure to like and subscribe, and do press the bell icon for the upcoming videos and past papers. Thank you once again. Goodbye and good night.